Right, hi guys, this is Shane from the GSI family. So I'm part of GSI West Yorkshire with Andrew Alexander. At the moment, he's probably in the air about 30,000 feet on his way back to the UK. And Neil Cook and Vicky Hardy and also Jan, they're from GSI Northeast, but uh, that Neil is going to be joining me live now because what we're doing is testing this piece of software just to make sure that I can actually bring someone in live, and then the possibilities are endless at that point. So I'm going to introduce Neil Cook from GSI Northeast, and he's also the team's spirit medium. So if I just click this button, the computer should do its magic, and Neil should be here at the side of me. There we go. I can see you. There'll probably be a couple seconds delay, but then we should be able to hear you and see you, Neil. So hello.
Yes, good evening. Apologies for our initial problems. We wanted to go live just a little bit earlier, but because of the technicalities of setting this up and us broadcasting on the radius we are, then obviously it's a slight delay, but we'll catch up hopefully and chat with you all, hopefully.
Yeah. Brilliant. And I just want to apologise as well, because probably on behalf of me and Neil, because it's a bit weird having to constantly be staring at where the actual camera is. So you might see us when we're reading the screens, we'll look like we're a bit, as eyes is going off all over the place and things. It's because we're not that used to just having a camera facing us. But as we promised earlier on today and yesterday, we would give some shouts outs to people who's liked and asked a few questions and things. So we'll probably start with them and then we'll kick off with everything else what we've got planned for tonight. So first off, as I've mentioned, Andrew, Jan and Vicky. Well, Vicky's in the house with Neil somewhere, but possibly a bit camera shy. My wife Tara as well, she's just sneaking by the camera because she didn't want to be on. But I do apologise if I pronounce any of these names wrong, but I just want to say hi to Sandra Barnes Cuss, Rachel Vella, Nina Mole, Tracy Dickinson, and also TJ, Ocean, Tiger, Rainbow, Forest and Peaches. That's who Tracy requested the shout out to. Joanne Bond, Andy and Becky Simmons, Stephanie Conley, Craig Whitney, and also give a shout out to his group IVG Paranormal, Tessa Johnson. This is one I might struggle with. Veronique Coverchill. I'm really sorry if that's wrong. Althea Joanne PM, Kathy Wilkinson, Mary Rogers, Tessa Johnson, Ron Peckham, Sandra Barnes, because I've already said you once, Rue C. Diffbal, I'm really sorry again if that's wrong, Samuel L. Hall, and Brad Kitchen. I think he's one of your mates, isn't he?
Yes, he is, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And also a big shout out to our new friends at East Drive Paranormal, Claire, Carol, Phil, Angie. I'm sure there's other members of the group, but I've not actually personally met them yet. And they're going to be coming along with us on Saturday night to the Chocolate Factory in Hull. And again, if any of you guys want to turn up to this, feel free. There's the events information on both GSI West Yorkshire and North East and on the website if you want to have a look. There's a link if you want to buy the tickets. There's a few left, so don't go buying like 100 or anything like that. But and also there's two questions what's been asked by two of the members. So they've basically asked for all of us to answer. So I'll let you go first, and then I'll answer, and then the same on the second question, Neil. So the first one's from Kaz Dunn, which I believe she's coming on Saturday night, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Excuse me. Kaz is coming along with us. She's very into this. She's done it previously. She's also very sensitive herself, Kaz is. So she'll be a good person to have there with us, because obviously the more the energy, the better things will work for us. And as you're aware, and as your listeners are aware, the more energy we build up on the night, then there's a better chance we'll create the right amount of energy to connect with spirit, the paranormal, and anything else which will go bump in the night. Just
Kaz
before
is
we go
watching
into
live
this,
as well now, so
I do have a few shout outs myself. If I could just say hi to Terry and Mandy in Australia. A big shout out to my brother Peter, who's currently on his holidays, my daughter Courtney, my partner Vicky for the support, Everyone who's following me on Facebook, your Catherine, your Mags, your Susan, your Derek, all these guys. There's a big list there, but obviously I would use up all the bandwidth trying to get them. So everyone who's on my Facebook account, a massive shout out to you guys. Thank you for following me. Thank you for the love, healing you've sent to me, and I send double the amount back to you guys as well. As Shea was saying, with regards to questions some of the people had asked, if you want to pop in the comments anything you want to ask us, myself as a medium, Shane as a paranormal investigator, then obviously we'll look at answering them questions as well tonight whilst we're on this live feed. If I keep pointing up, that's because there's a monitor up ahead, in front of me, should I say, and I keep referring to that. I'll try not to look up because you might see up my nostrils. One of the questions Kaz asked was, what is one of the most active or scariest places we've been to on a paranormal evening? And one of the most active places I've been many times is a place called Drakelow Tunnels. Drakelow Tunnels is in Kidderminster. It's in the middle of the dark country. It was initially built for Rover, who were making car parts in there, and leading up to the war, the government kind of took over the place and then start manufacturing parts ready for the war, from tank parts, ammunition and other things. Now, the majority of the people who are listening to this and into the paranormal stuff will know probably just as much as what I do, if not more, and I'm just reciting it off the top of my head, so forgive me if I miss anything. But this location is 3 miles underground. It's an abyss of tunnels which just lead off into the darkness. During the day, it's just as black in there, dark and dank, than it is during the night. There's no difference. There's no windows, there's no power. It's candle lit whilst you're in there doing your ghost hunt. And whilst they were excavating these tunnels, they actually disturbed an ancient burial site, which you've probably heard me talk about before. And there was a mass area of graves which were disturbed. And the rumour is that one of the spiritual guardians who were looking after this graveyard, overlooking it, obviously was upset. And some of the paranormal investigators who go in on a night normally come into contact with this person's energy, this demonic kind of character, and he will show himself in different forms, and in other words, a shapeshifter. This is one of the most active spirits in there I've found. Not only have I been in there by myself with my own group, but along with Dustal Dawn, Jessica's team, John Blackburn, Mysteria and the Enigma Experiment, and a few others. And each time you enter these tunnels, it just brings a whole new, there's no 2 nights you can investigate in there which you won't have same things. Everything is different every time. There is said to be up to 6 spirits haunting this location. I haven't encountered them all yet, and one of the most famous ones is a gentleman called Oswald, and he's the chirpy character who is the most active person in there. It has got poltergeist activity. Things have been thrown around in there, people touched, people felt their hands held. And not so long back, when I was working with John Blackburn with the Enigma Experiment, we were doing a corporate event in there with a company, and one of the most skeptic persons in there was actually knocked off his feet whilst we were doing a seance. And this person was initially a non-believer at the start of the investigation, and walked out of there very much a believer afterwards. So with regards to Kaz's question, that is the most active and exciting place I've worked and been to, and would jump at the chance of going back there tomorrow if I could.
Nice one. The most active for myself is actually, weirdly, my friend's house. It's a pretty similar style to how East Drive was, to be honest. It was a massive skeptic. He'll be coming with us on Saturday night, by the way, Neil. A pretty big skeptic, and then at one point when he realised I was getting into this, called me and my old team members in there just to see if we could figure out what was going on. And it's the activity was just, I've never seen anything like it, and the other people who's been doing it a hell of a lot longer than I have said that is the most active they've ever encountered anything. And it turned out to be two brothers, Henry and David. They were called, a little 7-year-old lad. We've got footage of him on Connect, and we've got numerous EVPs and all sorts of things, and then his brother David, who apparently is 30, so we're not sure if that's the age when they died or whether they've gone, because I know in the last live stream you explained how they can go back to practically whatever age they want, but that David was quite protective over Henry, and after a long time of interacting with little Henry, David took a bit of a dislike to it and told us to get out through the spirit box, and then that's when things started to kick off a bit, like pictures flying off of the wall and flights going crazy, flickering and all sorts. So it were a bit of a active night. And the second one as well, the second question, which again it's to both of us, it leads in quite nicely. Can we honestly answer, do we ever get scared when we do what we're doing? So I'll let you go first if you want.
We've always said, excuse me, we've always said that a paranormal evening, when you go out there looking for it, is 99% fun and 1% fear. We all have our own individual experiences. Now, the bigger the group, the more safe people feel. The smaller the group, then people tend to feel a little bit vulnerable. I know when myself and Vicky have done their own visuals, and we've placed people or ourselves in areas which are a million miles away from the rest of the group, then obviously your senses are more stood up. You're more, how can I say, the ambience is different. You can hear more. You can hear that little click and bang around you where normally in a group you wouldn't. So for some, I mean, we all get scared. And the thing which fears us is the unknown. And this is one of the things I find people come to me and they've experienced something paranormal, something connected with spirit. And because it's unknown to them, they don't know who spirit is trying to get in touch with them, then it's that fear. 9 times out of 10 with the individual, it's someone, a loved one, trying to get in touch with them. But when you're in a location like Drakelow Tunnels or some haunted location, then obviously you're dealing with residual and intelligent energy, and obviously that's interacting with you. And going back to the word unknown, it's the fear of the unknown. And normally what we can't see kind of fears us. So yes, we all have done. I know myself, younger, in my mediumship side of things, my spiritual side of things, coming to terms with developing to be a developed medium, then obviously certain things I couldn't understand, explain, then obviously there was that fear factor. A classic example was Vicky in the Old Nick in Gainsford, where she was locked into a room with the anguished man, and she asked for a sign to come from this most haunted picture, and there was an almighty bang within the room which was unexplainable. And yes, she's a paranormal investigator. She goes out there to run towards the spirit and not away from it, or the paranormal, should I say. But it was the unexplainable which she couldn't answer, which give her that fear factor. So we all have fear in everything we do, not just the paranormal and our ghost hunting, but in everything we approach in life. So yes, there's always that fear factor. There is for me, there is for yourself. I know that, Vicky, most definitely, and I'm sure people can reply in the comments as we speak their individual experiences with certain things they've investigated, and that little small fear factor they've experienced.
Definitely, yeah. 2 examples I'll give you of the time when I've got pretty scared. The first time was a lot earlier than the second time. The first time was at Spofford Castle, which Neil's had the opportunity to also visit. It's in the Wetherby area, and that was the first ever time I actually, not physically as in a shadow man or something, but an actual spirit appeared actually in my vision. I don't really know how to explain it, but my eyes basically just facing a wall. It just basically ran at me, come face to face with me, and disappeared. That's the only time I've ever physically seen anything like that. But that pretty much was like a million horror movies in one, because that was the first time that's ever happened, and it took me about 2 or 3 days to even process what happened before I realised what I'd seen and could figure it out. But then the second time I were a bit more experienced, and I was down in the basement or the cellar if you're from UK, in an house in Elland, which we have put some videos up on there, and I do have some more evidence from that house as well, which we will put out at some point. Setting up the Connect and the laptop and everything downstairs in the cellar, no one else there, all the other people 2 floors above in the bedrooms, so there's the living area and the bedroom area, so they were 2 floors above, and there's at the side of my head a growl. So I didn't physically react, I just like looked, but inside I was pretty petrified, as I'm sure anyone would be who's choose how experienced you are. If something like that happens at the side of your head, you're gonna go, whoa. But I just basically reacted by saying, yeah, we're here to find out who you are. You're not going to scare us. And I was on the walkie-talkie quite quickly, guys, come downstairs quickly. But that's my scariest moments, and I won't mind admitting that I have been pretty scared from time to time. But I'll just move on now. Before we continue, Stephanie Cowley said hi. Kaz Dunn, who we've been speaking about, who's coming on Saturday to the Chocolate Factory, said hi, and she says it'll be a fab night on Saturday. Here we go. Stephanie Conley again, she says she loves the Connect, and it's a cool way to see the spirits, and that leads us into something what we're going to test tonight. I've had spirits on the Connect in my living room before. We believe my wife's uncle was literally sat where I'm sat here, just chilling on the settee like this. We've got it on YouTube. I can probably show you through this stream some of the evidence we've caught on it, but we do actually have it connected, so I can change the camera mode and show you the Connect if you want. And then also Alan Willis from the Iron Valley Ghost Hunters, and I'm not sure exactly where Iron Valley is. It sounds possibly American. If you can comment and let us know, Alan. But what I'll do now, I'll change the camera mode over, and you'll be able to see the Connect. This is we've not tried this live, so it could go horribly wrong, but we'll see what happens. And I'll just do that. Everything should be okay. And I apologise about the state of. I'll just move that down there. That's basically all the names we wanted to read out, so I would remember and not miss anyone out. And if I open this up here, you can basically see my monitor, what I've got on my laptop. So I can probably make this bigger, but it's the first time really I've used this Connect, because it's the Xbox One Connect. So I can see slightly different to what you can see. You should be able to see me and Neil on either side. You can see the back of my head through the Connect, what's just behind me. The laptop screen doesn't show anything weirdly. And then, just to prove it is actually working before I start moving it about, you never know, there might be a spirit here. But I'll stand up and see if it starts to track myself, and see what happens with it, just to prove it does actually work. I'm sorry if I go quite quiet, but it should. There you go. So it is actually working, and the theory is, which as you can see from our YouTube videos, this actually doesn't just track humans, but it will actually track spirits in the same sort of way. And so then basically you can see this skeletal form, what's in me doing whatever I'm doing, but there's not actually anything there. So, and then if you can clearly tell, if maybe it's the same size of this door or something, you can maybe say, yeah, possibly getting confused with the depth and things. But if it's just stood in the middle of the room and you ask it to wave and it waves back at you, then you've got some pretty unbelievable evidence on your hands. And we've managed to shake hands with spirits using this technology before. Not the actual Xbox One what we've got now, but we've got the it was a 360 one. This one's slightly better because, as you can see, it's fully night vision. In the Xbox 360 it just fires out like lasers everywhere, so you can't really tell what's happening, so you've got to have it in a bit of a weird infrared mode. But the other good thing about this is it will actually pick up 10 people at once rather than the 360, which will only pick up 2 people. So technically 10 people could stand there and have a party, and you'd get a skeletal form in all of the basically every single one of them. So what I'll have a mess about. I don't know if anything will pop up, but we'll just move it about and see if we do actually get anything come through.
Just mention the original footage we caught, Shane. Where can these guys find this footage?
I'll show them. I'll bring it up on YouTube in a second.
The so they can have a look at it in action.
Yeah, I'll bring it up on YouTube. We've had people stood on his window. We've got. You can see one of my cats in the basket down there, and then one of my cats is sat here watching, wondering what I'm doing. And she's actually interacted with a spirit in his kitchen before, and that's on one of our YouTube videos. So I've had a spirit stood here before, but it doesn't look like there seems to be anything here tonight, which is typical when it's live. But I can show you some of the footage we've actually got in my living room when we had the Connect facing the settee, where I've just been sat on like that. But it definitely, it's something we're going to be having live on Saturday. That's a weird perspective, but it's something we'll try live on Saturday. And as you can see, it's just tracked me from sat down as well. But that's one thing we're going to try on Saturday. That's pretty new. We've never done that actually live in investigation. And the other thing, what we're trying is this. It's only on trial at the minute, but I don't know if any of you used this before. But I'll just basically continue trial. Here we go. So I will be purchasing this if it is as good as what people are making out. It's basically Alice Box. I've seen a few people using this now, and it's basically, it's a bit like a computerized version of the Ovilus. So you turn it on, and it keeps a log of all the words what comes through. And once you turn it on, you can basically ask it questions, and then an answer will come up on here. Sometimes it's a bit random and it doesn't really make much sense, but then sometimes you can. I asked if anyone was here, and it answered woman. So my wife wasn't very impressed by that, but I don't know if any of you has had any experience with that, but it's pretty cool. I'll see if a word comes up for us. It's when it pauses like that, a word's going to come up. So happen. No idea.
Yeah. If anyone else has had any experiences with this, then obviously leave a message in the chat. Let us know what experience you've had with it and how accurate you believe this has been. Anyone who's following Lee Steer, a good friend of mine with Project X, he's been doing some live streams over the last couple of days using this piece of software, Alice. And I know he's had a vast amount of people following his live streams. And obviously, if anyone's seen that, then you've seen it in action. But anyone who's worked with the Ovilus as well, the Ovilus 2, 3, and the new Ovilus, then obviously it's randomly choosing words from a database. But what we're looking for, and what Shane's saying, is that obviously it may throw out random words, but it will also throw out words which we ask a specific question to. So obviously if we ask who the person is with us here now, and it shouts out elephant, then obviously it's not connected. And if it gives us a name and something else which follows, which is connected to what we're asking, then obviously we're putting this down to spirit or something paranormal.
Yeah, brilliant. And when you were asking about the footage, Alice has just said another word, by the way, memories.
Memories.
Okay, that's basically Alice anyway. So I'll just and it gives you a log at the end. So it's pretty cool if you can ask a question and you get something back pretty accurate. But these are the videos on YouTube what I can show you, and this is the one when I just showed you my cat, and this is on the old Connect. I will mute the sound on this because it's going to. But what I'll basically move it to the. There you go. So this is our kitchen here. If you can see, there's one there which we think possibly getting confused by the actual coats, and then there's another one there. But this is a 360, so it can only pick two. But you can see my cat's pretty interested in this, and then eventually it will move across. I'll keep moving it until I get to the right bit. There you go. She'll move across to here now and start sniffing the other spirit, and jumps up. It looks like the spirit's leaning over and stroking her. The spirit does actually disappear, but that's probably the sensor getting confused. She still probably is actually there, the child spirit, but the Gertrude's actually looking up at the spirit and interacting. She knows that someone's there. She's literally looking at it now. So that's how the Kinect can be used. So that's a pretty cool, and that's in my own home as well. There's we've used it in the Doncaster Air Museum, which is the first time I ever met Neil. That was a pretty cool one. What was
yes,
it?
we had some good results with it there, some good EVPs as well.
Yeah.
And another one of them locations which is very active, and if you get the chance to go to this location, then it's well worth the visit.
There we go. This is because the night vision on the 360 version isn't actually that good compared to the one version what we've just showed you. I use more than one camera, so you can just see, and basically that's a cabinet. That's our reflections actually there. So that's not someone down the corridor, and that's the child of a spirit. But then eventually Neil actually connects with the spirit and found out she was called Shirley. And then in the second video, you can watch this. I'm not going to show you now on the live stream, but in the second video, this is part 1 at the Doncaster Air Museum. In part 2, the spirit actually answers live. Andrew, who's not here tonight, he's got headphones in and a live digital recorder. And when Neil's saying, "Is that your name, Shirley?" That's Andrew there, just popping up on the screen. When he says, "Is that your name, Shirley?" he basically gets an immediate response saying yes. So that's pretty cool that we're using technology like this with the technology what's Neil's brain, and combining it together, and it can have some pretty amazing results. So what I'll do now is just move it back just so it's me and Neil again, and then there we go. So you're getting a bit confusing. Is there any more comments, or if not, have you got anything else you want to cover before we end for the night?
Well, I'll just talk with regards to the topic. Whatever we're talking about is, have we got any people in the chat who need shout outs? Is there any of the paranormal groups out there who want the name broadcasting out there? We'll give them a shout out. Brad Kitchen, you're watching, I've just been told. Good evening, mate.
Yeah, he is. No worries. Good luck.
Collins, if that's Colony, if that's pronounced right. Good evening, if you're from the UK. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us.
And we've already said Debbie Davis. She says it's amazing. Yes. I think that's where possibly from the timing of it when I was talking about the growl in the cellar, and I think we've covered everybody. We've done quite a few shout outs, but what we're going to be doing in future on these videos, we can literally have as many screens as we want. We can have little screens all the way across with about 100 different people on. You need probably a satellite uplink rather than normal standard broadband, but what we can do, we don't all have to be together. This is pretty cool because we can have me and Neil here. We can have Andrew, if he can't make it, on another screen from his mobile coming in live through Skype. But then also this is an opportunity for you guys. What we'd like, if any of you want to connect with GSI and actually come and talk about what you've done, what your experiences are, what your best evidence is, and show it to our audience, and then again this can be live streamed on your channel as well. It'll be pretty interesting to speak to some new people, or possibly if you're a medium or anything, just if you want to have a chat, we can bring you up live in one of our streams and have a talk. We are going to be contacting a few people, so I would want to speak to someone in America in one of the American groups, and also one of the Australian groups what we're in contact with at the minute. I'm going to be hopefully doing a live stream joint with them, and then they can talk a bit about their experiences. So
so at the end of the day, Shane, it'll look like the Brady Punch, won't it? We'll all have little faces on
yeah,
the screen. It'll be like the end credits to the Brady Bunch. It will be.
yeah, definitely. But it's pretty cool. It's still in its early phase on Facebook. This technology has been used on YouTube and Twitch and things like that for absolutely years. Facebook's not had it out that long, and it's obviously slightly better on YouTube at the minute. But it's eventually this sort of, I'm using specialist software to be able to do this, but hopefully eventually Facebook will just have this on so everybody can do things like this, and it'll be pretty cool.
Like Shane said, we have a ghost hunt coming up, a paranormal event coming up on the 27th of this month, which is Saturday. We still have tickets left, but what we want to do is incorporate what we're using now for on the night of the ghost hunt. So with a live stream, if it's possible, and the use of our mobile data from our mobile phones, of course, we're going to do an uplink to Facebook across the GSI family walls, and then we're going to not only capture what we're doing on the night, but then send it to yourself so you can watch. And if you can remember the old version of Most Haunted, where they used to do the annual live shows,
Disappearing.
Some of the audience was sat at home watching the cameras and interacting that way, and then obviously we're going to have the people there who come along to the event interacting and sharing that information back to you. So you can get involved from your armchairs. It'd be nice if you could come along and join us and have hands-on with the equipment, but if you can't, then it'd be nice for you to, if you've got some spare time, to interact, watch the live feeds, which we're going to be doing. We're looking to live stream the event in sections rather than the whole event, because it's 5 hours long, and obviously at some point someone would fall asleep, if not myself. But we're going to do little sections, snippets of each experiment, each part of the location we're doing, just so we can bring some interaction for yourselves from your, like I say, the armchairs. You can join in as well. On the GSI website, on the GSI West Yorkshire, GSI North East, there's links there and details regarding the Hull event, which is at the Chocolate Factory. No, you won't get to eat any chocolate unless you bring it yourself, but it is a historic building, very active, one of the most haunted locations with many in the UK. There's a lot there on the Wikipedia side of it, as well as what other good people have caught with regards to other events going there. So even if you just have a read up and you get it into your system, what the place is like. Like I said, if you can join us, Shane, Andrew, myself, Vicky and Jan are going to be there, along with some of our guests who are coming along, but it'd be nice to have, well, anyway, the more people there, the bigger the energy, I'm saying.
Brilliant. And weirdly, a few people's noticed an orb. I'm guessing they mean in my living room. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. A few people said, but possibly, yeah. We do have a few family members what like to visit us quite often. For some reason, they like to stand in a kitchen rather than come into the living room. We've only ever caught them once on a settee, and I have been followed home a few times on investigations as well. So possibly is an orb. I don't sense anything weird, and the cat's not started freaking out, so you never know. But yeah, and also someone else has just commented. Joe Scott, hi guys, watching and enjoying, very interesting. Sorry we can't make this weekend, but if anyone gets the opportunity to go, do. That's what Joe Scott's just said. Do you know Joe?
Yes, he's the haunted stables we did, where we had the awesome spirit box session, which is also on the YouTube site. That was from her location. It was an exclusive night. The BBC actually went there and did an interview with us as well. And it's sorry. For Halloween, yeah, sorry. Vicky was just saying there, we went back on a Halloween special and did a Halloween interview with the BBC. We also caught the evidence which is on the Spirit Box session, which is on the GSI West Yorkshire YouTube site. There's some amazing responses. Even if you listen to that, it's about 6 minutes long, but it's very worth it, isn't it, Shane?
Oh, definitely.
It's very responsive. There's some unaudible demonic kind of interaction as well, and there's some interaction with a female spirit who's grounded there. She gave us her name was Julie, and she's actually answering our questions, my questions and the group's questions, not only through the ITC equipment, the Ovulus and the other bits and bobs, but again through me as a medium as well as the Spirit Box. Well worth a watch, a good 6 minutes of your time if you can give that time up to listen to that video alone. I'm sure we can post it in the link in here after we're finished.
I'm just going to change the screen over now so I can show the guys where it is. But if I just change this back to monitor capture so it'll catch my laptop screen, the GSI website will look slightly weird because this is obviously I'm an admin on it. But if I change this to view the page as a visitor, then this should be how you see it. And if you go onto the videos section here, all of the videos are here, so they're all split. They're on here as well as YouTube, and also thank you guys, nearly 7,000 views on the East Drive live stream what we did the other day. But all the evidence videos are here. So it's Pontefract Castle, the negative spirits. Epic Spirit Box 1 is the one what Neil was just talking about. So it's 5 minutes 57, and believe me, it's worthwhile, because I do try to edit the videos down to be as short as possible, but that one, it was just constant all the way through, so there was no reason.
You would have killed it if you edited it.
Yeah, there's no way. It was too good.
Sorry. Yeah.
Alice is saying, it said fuzzy, release, initial, rocks, stab, toward, and gun, and game now. Okay. It seems pretty random to me, but we'll give it a chance on Saturday in a very, very active location, because at the end of the day, if this is feeding off paranormal and a spirit, and there's not one in my living room, it's going to be gobbledygook. But we'll see what happens actually in Hull, which is a renowned active location. Fly. Yeah, no, we're going in the car. But demand, I don't know. But we'll see anyway. We'll give it a try, and hopefully we'll report back with anything what happens on this. It's getting very active now, actually. If you can see what's coming up as I'm speaking, I don't know.
If any of our watchers, viewers, want to ask Alice a question now, and obviously we'll see if we'll read that question out. Shane will read that out, and we'll see if Alice interacts with our viewers, our listeners.
Yeah. Stephanie Conley, it's funny how Bernice Mountain Dog freaks out every time I ask if someone, sorry I'm looking down, I'm just reading from my phone on the live stream, asks if someone is around. She runs and hides in the bedroom. She probably figures, oh my god, there she goes again. Very good. We have a lot of family members that come and visit and play with the flashlight. Very cool. I'll give you a blue thumbs up on that. Yeah, very cool. What did that Alice just say then? Hold and blow. I don't know. I'm trying not to get my dirty minded side on. I don't know. Hopefully it'll move on quite quickly.
What you have to remember, guys, is spirit is around us all the time. Not only a residual spirit which is connected to the land, but our loved ones in spirit as well. I'm not going to preach too much on this thing. Obviously you have to ask and I'll talk to you, but with regards to our loved ones in spirit, our immediate loved ones and everyone connected to our circle, at some point they're back and forth in visitations, offering us healing, looking after us, giving us the guidance we're in need of, and obviously the support and healing when it's needed. So with regards to that last comment, that every time she says, "Are you coming to play?" and the dog does one, then obviously dogs are psychic as well. my postman many moons ago once said to me, "Why is it that your dog barks at me every time I come to the door?" And I said, "Well, dogs are psychic and they can always pick up negative energy." He stood a minute, absorbed the remark I made, and then he walked off without giving me my mail. He shoved it in the next door neighbours, but obviously that's another story. But yeah, dogs are very psychic, and you will find that as good as an EMF pump anytime a dog, that'll give you the sense that spirit's there. I know our little dog, Cassie, she's alert, she senses spirit prior to me picking up on it as a medium. So yeah, if we could only take dogs on a ghost hunt with us, then that would be awesome. Did you say Kaz is asking a question?
Yeah, for Alice. Will there be any surprises in store Saturday night?
Right, did you get that, Alice? Will there be any surprises in store at the chocolate factory on Saturday night, Alice? If you can answer that for us, please. What surprises are we looking for?
When the red light freezes, that's when something's going to come through, apparently. Did anyone know Tim, by the way? Because it's just said the name Tim, throw, Western, floor and release. No idea.
Is there a Tim watching?
Is there a Tim watching? Do we have a Tim who's listening in, viewing?
Stephanie says, took a video a while back and every time I mentioned the word spirit she would back and tell me to shut up already. Very good.
Yeah,
nothing seems to be
to stop looking up because you can only see the white of my eyes.
Yeah, nothing seems to be coming through. Is there anyone here what wants to communicate with us? My wife's going to kill me because I'm not supposed to do investigations in his own house. But if you want to come and speak, you can manipulate this piece of software what I've got here, and basically tell it what to say. So if there's anyone here, and you've got anything to say to us, can you please make the software say something? It just seems to be quite random. I'm still not made my mind up, to be honest, about it. But we'll give it a go in a very active location and see if we can get some intelligent responses. And then I can't really judge it just in a living room. It's coming up with something now. Air. See, it just seems pretty random to me, but we'll see. We'll give it a go. Stephanie's laughing at something.
What you also have to remember, Shane, is like not all the responses are instant to the question. And we found this before, that we've asked a question and there's been a delay, a bit like this live stream tonight, but there's been a delay, and we have found, not only ourselves but other paranormal companies, even the big guys on TV, that you do get answers in a slight delay in the answer in the next thing for the previous question, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Hey. Right, you said hey. Possibly.
That'll be some American spirit there.
Yeah. What? All right.
Is it because you can't pronounce it?
Yeah. I was just looking at that. You can see that's not Batman. It is my cat. Just sat there chilling. But I'm just seeing if anything was coming through on here. Apart from myself. No. We will be using this again on Saturday night, and in a bit more of a renowned active location to you, and it's because nothing's coming through. Oh, hang on. Did you just see that then? But that again, that could be just getting confused with my jackets. So we will try to debunk things, what pops up, rather than, you see, because I'm slightly moving, it's calibrating at the same time, and sometimes it could be possibly getting confused with objects, because if you notice, the person was exactly the same size as the actual jacket what's hanging over the back of the chair, so possibly that could be what that was. When it's standing free form and there's nothing attached to it whatsoever, then that's when you know possibly something could be there. So that's it. You can see she's called Consuela, by the way, and it did actually look like an orb went past then straight across the screen. But can see Consuela's beady eyes keeping an eye on us. And Lisa and Telephone's just been up on the on that. But that's basically it. And Jason Ellis is now on saying I get confused by your jackets. That is either drunk or he always has his wisecracks on these live streams. But to be honest, I think we've covered absolutely everything. So if any of you do want to come on Saturday night, there are still a few tickets available, and you get to see this technology face to face, where it's actually meant to be used in a haunted location rather than just my living room. But you get the gist of how it works. And
well, actually, Shane, they'll get to interact with it. The equipment we're bringing on the night, everything you would use on a paranormal evening, you're going to be part of it. The people who are coming along, so you're going to be an investigator for the night as well. So not only will you be told, hopefully by myself, of the spirit which is present, but you should get to see it on the devices or the equipment like Shane's using now. So you'll be part of it. You're not going to be stood as an audience watching it. You're physically going to be getting locked in a dungeon. Maybe not the dungeon, but locked in somewhere. But you're going to get to play around with this equipment. You're going to be part of it. You're there participating, if that's the correct word to use. And we want you to interact with spirit as well. We've had previous dealings with it, and I'm not teaching you to suck eggs. The people who normally come along are people who've had previous experiences on paranormal events. So, I mean, our good family from East Drive are coming along. We're hoping they're going to bring some spirits from East Drive themselves, and a couple of chains dragging along behind. But yeah, it should be a really good night. It should be, and we want you to be part of it. If you can't be there, then obviously we want you to tune in with this technology, which we're going to be streaming on the night. But we'd rather you be there, because Vicky bakes a good cake, and so do I, and we'll be doing some refreshments and finger food as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, and sorry Jason, we are going to go. He just says no, you can't leave now, we've only just joined. But yeah, we will be live streaming again, so you get to see our faces once again on Saturday. But it will be a hell of a lot darker than you probably hear us rather than see us most of the time. And let's hope that's not something what's going to happen on Saturday night, an assault. But that's it anyway. I've got nothing further to say. Have you got anything to add before we leave?
Yeah, it'll be a calm, peaceful night. Obviously, lots of interaction with spirit in the paranormal world, hopefully. The thing is, people always ask the question, what if something follows me home on a night? And my classic saying is, why does spirit want to come home to you and watch Jeremy Carl the next day? Spirit's there for a reason. It's normally because it's grounded in that location. It has a connection there, whether it's something to do with a part of spirit's life or its actual life was taken at that location. Who knows? We'll find out. But spirit does not follow people home from castles and dungeons and haunted locations. They'd rather stay where they are. They're there for a reason in that time zone, for a reason. My initial question with regards to Kaz's, which you mentioned, Kaz Dunn, was what was the scariest place you've ever been to, or the scariest place you've been. I initially wanted to say this at the beginning, but I'm going to say it now because we're going. The scariest place on this earth,
take a look at Alice, by the way, Neil.
Will answer this, is the bottom of a woman's handbag. I once went into this lady's handbag, and it was the scariest place in the world. I never ever want to go down there ever again. That is the scariest place in life I've been to, other than all the haunted locations. And I'll end on that note.
Yes, and Alice has actually said the first intelligent thing of the night.
Goodbye.
Yeah. I had to put the screen back up just to show you what it's actually said, because it's pretty cool. So when we were saying, is this it now, we were going to leave, and it basically said goodbye. So I think that is a sign, definitely. And when you click end, it does come up with a list of all of the words what was on Alice. So I will post them in a post on the GSI site, because if they mean anything to anyone, you never know. We might be getting a message from one of you through this software. We'll see. But
So you can find us on the GSI West Yorkshire, GSI North East, also on all the W's GSI website as well. The links are going to be included here as well, so you can follow us. If you do want to come along and you can get there, it's in Hull. It's on Saturday the 27th, 9 o'clock start. Get there a little bit early so we can do our induction, and then we're working through the night till 2 in the morning, and then obviously bid you good night on the night. If you can't be there, we'd like you to tune in on our live feeds if possible. There'll be some live experiments which should be getting videoed, so obviously you should be able to witness or watch what we're doing, and our YouTube channel as well, which is under West Yorkshire, GSI West Yorkshire. If you type in that on YouTube, it'll take you to some amazing videos which are on there. The credits to the actual quality of the video go to Shane, and Andrew. Andrew's brought the audio side to it, the EVPs and the technology that side. And Shane is our movie maker, and he's put some awesome trailers and videos together, even some revamping the old Northeast GSI videos as well, and polished them up to 2016 standards. So the credit and applause goes to that guy. Thank you very much. And I'll leave Shane with you and fade out. Thank you.
yeah, no worries. Thank you. I'll see you later, guys.